The Nike Vomero 16. Is this shoe still going strong, or are we running into some troubles? Let's talk about it. So before we get into it, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel. If you're already subscribed to this channel, watching the content, thanks so much. Love you guys a lot. Specs for the Vomero 16 are right here. Now, let's talk about the Vomero 16 and how things are just pretty much rolling with this shoe on a day-to-day basis. So, again, this shoe, I bought it with the intent of being, your everyday runner, your distance trainer, if you have a distance trainer of sorts, that isn't going to be for like race simulation necessarily. You just want to run like that minute to minute and a half slower than marathon pace kind of shoe. This is what the Vomero 16 is ultimately going to be for. So, yeah, is it living up to those expectations? I mean, I guess let's get into it. But first, let's check out the outsoles, bottoms of the shoes. They're a little bit messy, disclaimer, but here we go. That is the left foot, including the heel, right foot, including the heel. And I guess the story is going to be on the right foot once again, but in a more focused area, actually directly under this air zoom pocket, as you can see right there, specifically right in this area here. So let me tell you a little story about this right foot, because this is overly emphasized in this particular shoe. When I'm running downhills now, it feels like the air zoom pocket in the shoe completely shifts almost like backwards. It's almost as if the rubber outsole on this shoe is like getting ripped and getting pulled into like, the arch of your foot. So I do feel this air zoom pocket moving a lot more in this right shoe, specifically when running downhills, and I'm very conscious of it, and I try to adjust the way my foot is landing on the ground so it's not striking that air zoom pocket as I go downhill, because my big fear with it is that this like rubber is going to start ripping off from the tip of the shoe, or it's just going to like peel off like an orange peel, you know what I mean? So that's something I've been noticing in particular with this, and as you can probably tell, I can see it at least here. I don't know if the camera angle is going to catch this. You're going to see that the wear is basically flattened out the air zoom pocket area overall, and yeah, that is again partially because of my strike form when I'm running in the Vomero 16, but again, when you're running downhills and the strike naturally is to catch and kind of, stop you going in this direction, and then you launch and then you kind of go again, where it's not so much like you're rolling from the heel going downhill, but you're just diving in with the rubber. This is why the burn tread looks the way it does, and it's kind of killing the life of the shoe fairly quickly, at least for this particular shoe, until the point where we obviously take it apart and kind of look at the things there. But yeah, it's something that despite all of, that wear and the damage that's here considered, it's still rolling really well on like the flats, and I'm having a really good time with it, especially in the rain. Like, it slips a little bit, but like that's because I've balded this spot out. But like left foot, not a problem whatsoever. You can see that this is a little bit more of an average lug wear in this forefoot area, so I'm not too worried about it at this point in time. Now, this is where the shoe is currently shining, in my opinion, is that I have like a bit of like a peroneal tendon flare up from just like a little bit of overtraining, a little bit of, more distance in my workouts, and not really following the 80-20 rule in my training regimen. And what's happening is like the Vomero, obviously being a heavier shoe, you kind of have to work harder to run faster. So rather than working harder, I keep the work a little bit easier, a little bit more moderate. Or if I take the shoe on a group run and everybody is like running about 9 to like 8:30 pace maximum, then like this is the shoe for me, because I can like roll really slow, not work too hard, and have something that's kind of flashy, kind of goofy looking. But I like goofy looking shoes. It's just kind of my style. The more ridiculous the colors, the more I'm kind of drawn into kind of pulling it, until we get into like the weird pink and like yellow territory of shoes. Have I had a shoe like that? I don't even think so. I think the most radical colored shoe I've had has probably been the Vaporfly Next Percent 2 in that hot pink color. That was still a really cool shoe though. Not going to diss it, but nevertheless, so that's like the one thing that's kind of bad, and the one thing that's overall good with the shoe. Now, in terms of running the distances with it, like, yeah, this is still running pretty well in terms of going the extra mile of if you want to run like 10 to 12 to like 13 miles in the shoe, I can totally believe still going in that direction. Now, I promised in like a previous video I was going to take it to like half marathon distance and just basically kind of give you guys my assessment of the long run in this shoe. I still haven't done it yet. It's going to be my next long distance effort, is to run it in this shoe once I get it cleaned up and things like that. Because I do want to see how much water absorption happens in this upper, which, by the way, isn't ripping anywhere or anything like that. But again, yeah, water absorption is something I'm trying to monitor with this shoe in particular, because there is a lot of material and water can get absorbed on it, and it can turn into a bad day overall. So, and especially in this heel area, because there's like so much plush, there's going to be water that can get stored in there. And if you're running longer distances and now you've got like some sweat and you've got water, and if you're running in the rain, like it gets way worse, you want to make sure you're not adding extra, I guess, like weight bearing onto your run. Good sneeze. So that being said, it's next on my list to basically have a half marathon test in the Vomero 16 before I take it into the 300-400 mile review range. So that's kind of where I stand with the shoe. There's nothing other than that too much new to note on it. I think the other thing I'm going to be monitoring is basically the eyelids of the shoe. As you can kind of see here, I am burning them a little bit with the way I'm tying my shoes, and just this material is just not, I guess, great. Or maybe I'm just like really pulling on these eyelids in just a really bad way, and this is kind of what's happening. So yeah, something else for me to monitor as well. So overall, Vomero 16 is still rolling strong as an everyday trainer. Just now that I'm putting it in through more of like the elements of, you know, more hills, more rain and things like that, I'm starting to see it kind of fade in some areas, as it probably should after 250 plus miles anyways. So yeah, still monitoring this, and as we get into the 300 to the 400 mile range, we'll be starting to see how well the shoe kind of lasts overall. So if you have the Vomero 16, definitely let me know in the comments below. Let me know what you think about it. But I think I will end the video here at this point. So thanks so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.